Inclusive cultures do a few things really, really well. And one of the things that I have noticed in all of our work speaking and training leaders on inclusive leadership and leading like an ally is the separation of owning that employee experience. So if you think about your employee experience, some organizations call it employee engagement. I like to think about their experience. Think about your employee's journey, from recruiting when they have their first initial contact with your organization to hiring, when they're brought on board and given an offer and extended an invitation to join the team, to that orientation process where they're getting onboarded onto the culture, to how their performance is being managed. What kind of coaching and feedback and development are they getting to be better versions of themselves? Because people want to be challenged. And then in some cases, promotions, in some cases, separation from the organization. So if you had to think about these key events that happen in your employee experience, how can we be more inclusive in those pieces? So I like to meet organizations where they're at and think about all your hiring practices, your recruiting practices, your onboarding practices, your performance management practices, as well as the kind of behaviors we reward and maybe the kind of behaviors that we don't welcome at our organization that could be rooted in your corporate culture. It could be rooted in your core values, your cultural values, however you define that. But essentially, we are teaching our employees every day what we expect by the behaviors we reward. So measuring key pieces of the employee experience from a diversity perspective is huge. If we care about diversity, are we measuring who and how we recruit diverse talent, and how we hire, and how we promote, and how we do pay increases, and who's leaving versus who is staying? Those are huge signals on areas where you can improve. So measure what matters. We would never not measure profitability in a for-profit business. We would never not measure fundraising dollars in a not-for-profit business. If you care about diversity, you measure it. And you measure it in key phases of that employee experience. We're happy to help. We've got lots of content on this to help you in your inclusive leadership journey. Check out nextpivotpoint.com. You can schedule time with us to chat about your own diversity and inclusion employee experience and how to measure success around it.